terms of backroom staff of the whole tournament. They've got a couple of net bowlers, Indian net bowlers, leg spinner and a left arm leg spinner, to try and replicate the Chahal Kuldeep Yadav combination. Now, I thought that was clever in terms of the cricket, but it's purely to do with they wanted more support in the ground, I think.
Yeah, quite. It's just a sea of light blue shirts. Now, third man is coming up. Fine leg is going back. So the two deep fielders, still remember in the first power play overs, there's a fine leg and a deep square. So now a very strange offside field for Shikhar Dhawan here. He's got a short third man, which is almost like a fly slip, if you like. A gully, who's on the catch. Oh, now he's just changed it. He now wants third man back. And fine leg up inside the circle. But still, 4 in the offside ring. Backward point, cover point, extra cover, mid-off. And then Usman Khawaja is on the catch in the gully. So, Coulter Nile towards the left-handed Dhawan. Short, wide, cut, 4. Great shot, but it was a gift from Nathan Coulter Nile, and Dhawan's too good of a player to miss out on that. In nick or out of nick, he's crashing that to the boundary for 4, and it's 31 without loss.
Yeah, you just look at this Australian attack. Stark and Cummins outstanding. Adam Zampa, he's been very, very good. Nathan Coulter Nile with the bat against the West Indies, he changed the game, man of the match, but with the ball in hand he struggled a little bit. The Australians just missing that high quality.
Next delivery is played away again through the gully field and away to the boundary for 4, and the Indian supporters might as well stay on their feet with the amount of gifts that Nathan Coulter Nile is offering up to India. 35 without loss and 3 boundaries this over for Shikhar Dhawan as he moves to 23 not out.
Yeah, I just wonder if the Aussies are missing that high quality third seamer. Stoinis is a part, he bowls well at the end, bowls very well in the last few overs, but in the middle of the innings you'd fancy hitting Stoinis for a few. Glenn Maxwell obviously with his part-time off spin, it's more than part-time.
Well, the thing is, Nathan Coulter Nile had to bowl a little bit wide outside of off stump due to the field. A mid-wicket's gone in now from the gully, and it is a touch straighter, but Dhawan plays it with an open face down towards wide third man. Zampa is round to do the fielding, and a single is taken. So India 36 without loss after 8. Coulter Nile's first over goes for 14. Dhawan 24, and Rohit Sharma has been watching on from the non-striker's end. He is 9 from 22. It was quite interesting. I was listening to the toss interviews done by Sanjay Mandraker, and I thought he could have softened the question somewhat when he spoke to Aaron Finch, and instead of saying, have you thought about bringing Jason Behrendorff into the side, it was, I'm paraphrasing here, but it was basically, have you thought about dropping Nathan Coulter? I thought that's quite the loaded question.
Yeah, well the Aussies they didn't pick Josh Hazlewood, and Jai Richardson got injured, hurt his shoulder in the UAE.
I was just wondering about
Kane Richardson. The squad. Yeah, I just think on this kind of pitch, Glenn Maxwell's going to have to be your go-to kind of fifth bowler.
Well, Cummins continues, only conceded 12 from his 4 overs as Dhawan, who stole the strike at the end of the over, gets a nasty one, a lifter from Pat Cummins. That's his ability, off a length, and he just reeled from that lifting delivery and hit him on the glove and just dropped out into the offside. But a nasty one from Cummins.
Yeah, you look at Rabadi, look at Bumrah, Jofra Archer, Pat Cummins, 4 high class. Just pitches outside leg stump and it bounces sharply. It would have hit Shikhar Dhawan on that left shoulder, it seemed. Sharp ball.
Slip in place, 4 in the offside ring, third man fine leg as Cummins kicks his heels, runs away from us, and this is coming back into Shikhar Dhawan, who takes the bottom hand off the bat and turns it just square of the wicket on the onside. Mitchell Stark is there, but Rohit alert to the single that was available, 37 without loss. The sun's just popped behind a cloud at the moment. There's lovely broken cloud here in the capital. Oh, look at that, right on the balcony, on the roof of some of the flats opposite with the russet-coloured bricks. There is a cluster of Indian supporters. Don't need a ticket. Well, maybe they paid someone to hire their flat for the day.
It's either that or they've got a good ladder.
Anyway, you can watch your team play. They've got a great view of the oval. Just peering over the top of the
Get a surprise when you wake up in the morning, look out the window, there's a load of people on your roof.
Cooking breakfast for them all. Indian flags draped over that balcony on the top of the roof as Cummins approaches, and Rohit just turns this into the onside very coolly. Khawaja fields, a single taken, 38 without loss.
Yeah, that's what they do really well, this pair. They've played so often together. Just that communication. They just nod at each other and away they go. They've nicked quite a few singles. Physio coming out for Shikhar Dhawan. I think it's just probably the blow from Pat Cummins.
Just hit him. Did it hit him on a little bit of his chin, just under the grill, Michael? It just hit the glove and then reared up a little bit. And I just wonder if it caught him in the side of the face a bit. Anyway, the physio's come out.
Paddy Farhat is a physio. He's been in and around the Indian team, the Australian. He worked with Hampshire, I think.
He did.
County game for a number of years. Shane Warne's
mate, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, at New Road, England's women are batting against the West Indies in the second one-day international. You can hear commentary now via the website and the BBC Sport app with in-play video highlights, as you have for this game here.
It's his left thumb, Matt.
Is it? Is he just... Oh, yeah, you're right. And we're getting a spider cam view on our television screen to our right-hand side. And he's getting the freeze spray on the left thumb.
Looks a big canister of spray, that. I'm not too sure what the spray is. Probably that ice cold.
You had a bit of that yesterday. You had a sore shoulder.
Yeah, I had to go to the local supermarket last night just to get a little bit of the... I was going to get the deep heat on, but I thought... I'm not too sure
it's the smell of deep heat, doesn't it? Yeah.
Onto the bed, so I go for that. The cold stuff. It doesn't work.
Oh, so you're still stiff as a board.
Yeah, it don't work. I mean, you just buy into the brand and yeah, it'll make you better in an hour.
Rub this cream on and it'll make you miraculously...
The gel. Yeah, I feel magnificent today. I feel worse.
Well, 38 without loss and Dhawan is fine. Obviously, the magic spray has done the trick. Could have been hairspray for all we know. Andy.
I'm just going to point out, Coulter Nile has a pretty good record against India. 10 wickets, averaged 25, and economy rate of 5.1 in a series late in 2017 in India, and 3 wickets in a couple of games earlier this year as well. But not gone so well for him on the first 6 deliveries today.
38 without loss. Dhawan, who's 25 not out, waits for Cummins as he's ready again, and he just defends and takes that bottom hand off the bat immediately. I think he's struggling here, Shikhar Dhawan. That really will have smarted that short ball that he had to try and fend off his chops. We're just having a look at the replay, and it's hit him right on the end of the thumb, and it can just jar it and make it very, very sore. And at 90 odd miles an hour, yeah, that's going to smart. And it's also the grip, whether you can grip properly with the bottom of the bat.
Makes you power hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
That bottom hand is what gives you the power.
Cummins again, blue soles on his shoes that show when he's kicking his heels and running in, and Dhawan turns this next Cummins delivery into the leg side. Finch Fields sliding as he goes, but again with every shot Dhawan is taking bottom hand on his bat. He's now calling to the dressing room again.
Yeah, he's struggling here, and that was really good from Aaron Finch in mid-on. You see a lot of fielders that would have run round that and let it go by. He kind of cut off the angle to make sure that he could get a dive in to make it just the single. Pretty sure someone of the unaware quality would have just kind of let the ball go by. It probably raced across this fast outfield, and maybe could have been 3 there, but he cut the angle off well.
He knows this ground well, having played for Surrey as Cummins bowls and defended by Rohit Sharma. Out into the offside with a straight bat, and it concludes the over again. A pretty decent one from Pat Cummins, just the 3 singles coming from it. His 5 overs have cost 15, and Paddy, the physio, is out again.
He's not as quick as he used to be, Paddy. Well, get on there quicker than that.
Well, yes, but he's managed to get there eventually, and Shikhar's going to have some more treatment for that injured thumb, so we shall keep an eye on that. But India, no worries for them so far. 39 without loss, 9 overs gone. Rohit is 10 and Dhawan is 26. Michael, some more from you, and then for the first time this morning it will be Jeff Lemon.
Yeah, he's going to have some of that. Well, he's having a big tablet. You can see that from Spider Cam. The big tablets are coming out, 1 and 2. Yeah, 2 big tablets inside your Shikhar. Nice swig of the drink, and he's going to have some. He's going to get it taped. So they're going to put some tape on that left thumb. For hard with the tape, just nice and tight on that thumb. It can't be broken, because I've broken a thumb, you can't move it, and he's moving it okay. So he's obviously just a little bit sore, and the tablets will work its magic, I'm pretty sure. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Very good.
It's interesting that from the commentary box all we can see is a huddle of people around Shikhar Dhawan, but from the TV monitor the Spider Cam can drop right into the doctor's meeting and give you granular detail of all of the attention being administered. Let's just hope no one gets hit in the box. All right.
This is a big over for Nathan Coulton. Our third man has come up into the circles. A fine leg and square leg back. He went for 14 in his first. Shikhar Dhawan put him under pressure.
It is Coulton from the pavilion end. Right arm over, back of a length. Shikhar Dhawan's up on his toes, dropping it down to mid-off, thinking about a single, but Rowett says, don't think about that. Back you go.
Yeah, I think Shikhar Dhawan is a great lesson to all players, young and old. But every time he hits the ball, he is looking to run. He's trying to put the fielders under pressure. Sometimes you see players play forward defensive and there's no energy in their body just to kind of look for a single. Shikhar Dhawan's full of active life out there in the middle, always looking for the quick ones.
Left-handed, awaiting. Coulton, back of a length, steered away to a short third man. They will get through for a single thanks to that quick start, because there was a little fumble. Adam Zampa leaned across to his left, got hands to it, stopped the boundary, but parried it away from himself, and that start gets them through for one. They're 40 for no loss.
Yeah, it's well, when you bowl into someone like Shikhar Dhawan with only 2 fielders outside the circle for the first 10, it's so difficult to keep him quiet. But you'd say that he fancies the offside, and having third man up, such a difficult skill to try and get it so straight. You've probably got a few inches to play with as a bowler. And then if you're just outside off stump, he's going to take you down. If you're too straight, he's probably going to plant you through mid-wicket.
It's very much his area, that square of the wicket on the offside, open the face, slashing backward of point. Coulton bowling to Rowett, right-handed. He's forcing away off the back foot into the cover gap. They'll get through for a single on the punch, 41 for no loss. Rowett has 11, Dhawan 27. And I remember commentating Shikhar Dhawan's debut Test 100. He played against Australia and made the fastest ton on debut. I think it was 87 balls from memory in Mohali, but Andy Zaltzman can probably confirm that. And everything was along the carpet, but everything was through point to backward point, some cover drives as well. There were no risky aerial shots. He just so smooth. He just stroked everything, and he's looking to do the same on the cut shot, but Maxwell will stop that at backward point. So they've got 3 inside the circle behind point on the offside for Shikhar Dhawan. They've plugged those gaps up.
Yeah, that was smart from Nathan Coulton, because what he can't do is offer pace outside of off stump, because that's an easy one. What he did there was an off cutter, so only 75 miles an hour. So to get it down to third man, you've got to generate your own power. And he couldn't get enough to get it through the gap. There's not a lot of a gap with 3 of them behind there. It's like a bat 3 in football.
Coulton to Dhawan, who's backing away, making the line. He seemed to predict that Coulton would try to get in on his hip and tighten him up, so he gave himself room, but only carved it to point.
Well, I think the Australians should be happy with this start. They haven't got the breakthrough, but to reduce India so far to just 41 from 9.5 overs, on a pitch that's not offering a great deal for the seamers, I think they can be pleased with their efforts so far.
Better comeback from Coulton. Needs to finish it off and does so, tightening up Dhawan on the off stump, and he can only deflect the ball to Marcus Stoinis at point. The over comes to an end. We've had 10 bowled, India 41 for no loss, so going at 4 and over a bit slower than they might normally, but those wickets in hand, of course, mean that they can accelerate whenever they want.
Yeah, that's the problem, and when you think of Virat Kohli to come, I don't think he's been in the greatest of form. We're so used to Virat Kohli pretty much never being out of form. Well, in the IPL he just struggled, and in the game against South Africa just didn't quite get to his best. Now they're going to see spin for the first time.
Fairly early introduction.
Glenn Maxwell. He played a bit of cricket for Lancashire in the county game.
That's right, took 5 for at Lords against Middlesex.
Yeah, and the Lancashire lads were so impressed with his off-spin. Didn't contribute a huge amount with the bat, and again he flourished, got 20 or 30, looked great, and then typical Glenn Maxwell tried something that he probably didn't need to do. But it was his off-spin that really surprised Lancashire.
Well, he's an entertainer foremost and an athlete second, perhaps, but although he'd probably be incensed by that comment. But his bowling has been given the opportunity under Finch's captaincy. When Smith was the captain, Maxwell basically wasn't bowled. Smith decided he didn't want to use him for whatever reason. But under Finch, they play together at Victoria. They've known each other a long time, and Finch has been very much bringing Maxwell into the fold as his right-hand man in the team and an important bowler. And he's bowling a good ball to start with that beats the outside edge of Rohit Sharma. And very quickly, Alex Carey had the bails off. The zings did fall off that time. They've been sticking to the stumps a fair bit in this tournament. But that one seemed to just slide on with the arm. Maxwell bowls again a little bit short and on the leg stump, so it's able to be tucked away to the deep backward square sweeper for a single. 42 with no loss.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Shikhar Dhawan is renowned for being a wonderful player of spin. Pretty sure he'll give himself a couple of balls and then he will target certain areas of the ground. Mid-on is in the circle. It's not the kind of off-spinner that you dance down too often to. You probably wait for that short ball. Your gambler probably will bowl the short when you can cut it back past point. There's a big space square of the wicket. Extra cover looks to me like he's quite straight.
Yeah, almost square of the wicket there. So 2 behind point in the circle. Sort of backward and a short third man, I suppose you'd define it as. Just being dropped into the covers by Dhawan. Through for an easy single. He backed away a bit and chopped that hard into the ground, and it was picked up at cover by Steve Smith. So
what about Steve Smith's bowling? He bowled a few hours in the warm-up game.
Yeah, he hasn't done a lot of it. Again, it was since he became captain, he basically demoted himself as well as Glenn Maxwell and decided that bowling was a bit beneath him. He's sent down a few overs while he was leading the team, but not a lot. I think he prefers not to if he can get away with avoiding it. It's Maxwell bowls on the off stump, straight ball, and going back, Rowett tried to shovel it into the onside but could only drag it down towards mid-on where Smith was across to field.
Well, it was a smile from Glenn Maxwell because this spun quite a lot.
Good bit of a loop as well. He really flighted that delivery. He's doing the same again, but he starts at a bit too much on middle stump, and so it's able to be worked behind square for 1. 44 for none.
I think if you were going to choose to play India and not choose the pitch to play them on, you'd probably not choose this one.
Rohit Sharma, 13 at the non-striker's end. Shikhar Dhawan with Maxwell around the wicket now, striking the pad, squeezing through to Carey along the ground. The wicket-keeper's interested. They're always interested.
Yeah. There's Carey behind that. It's the end of the over. I don't know why he's still out there in the positions. Obviously, the umpire, Gunnar Gould, Ian Gould, had not called over, but now he has. And yeah, good start by Maxwell. They're promising signs for the off-spinner.
Well, there was a bit of turn on that last one as well. It straightened down the line to the left-hander, and you'd think maybe it is worth Steve Smith having a go because he does turn it a fair bit. He gives it a rip.
Yeah, well, it's going to be Zampa, the spin twins, in action early.
Zampa's probably less of a turner of his leg break than Steve Smith is. You know, Smith's in the classical school of batsmen who fancy themselves bowling some leg spin and just try to shred every available rotation on the ball and hope that something happens. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When Misbah-ul-Haq made the fastest Test 100, about 50 of those runs came off 2 Steve Smith overs in the UAE, so it doesn't always come off. But
the head-to-head between Glenn Maxwell and India's top 3 in one-day internationals: 303 balls, 321 runs, 1 wicket. So generally India have won that contest, and Rohit Sharma 136 runs off 113 balls. Zampa has quite a good record against Rohit Sharma. He's got him out twice in 81 balls for 80 runs. He's got Virat Kohli out 3 times in 83 balls, though for quite a high strike rate of 111. So this might be a quite interesting contest.
Well, Pat Cummins v Kohli has a very good record as well, I think, if you have those numbers.
In ODIs, 1 for 58 off 65.
But got him a few times in the Test series as well, and backed it up in a one-dayer in Melbourne, I think. Zampa starting a new over from the pavilion end. Trash ball, short down the leg side. Gets what it deserves, out behind square. The meaty slog sweep from Rohit Sharma, who dropped to one knee in gratitude and said, "Thanks very much, Cobber." 48 for none.
Oh, that's a bad ball. That is a half tracker. Just didn't come out of the fingers at all. Just the one fielder square of the wicket on the onside. That is a gift to Rohit Sharma. Just make them play good shots, don't gift them easy ones.
Zampa hopefully has worked that out of his system for his sake. Bowls leg stump again, turned away. Might have been a low full toss by the time it reached the batsman. They'll only get 1 because it went squarer, and Stoinis out in the deep was able to cut it off from deep mid-wicket. So through for 1, score 49 for none.
Yeah, well, one thing's for sure on a wicket like this, that to beat an Indian side, your main spinner, which is Adam Zampa, will have to arrive and have a decent day, you would feel.
I did wonder about Nathan Lyon before this match, just given that these oval wickets can be a bit slow. They can hold up, they can spin. And Lyon's been so good at controlling the tempo of an innings through the middle, going at just 3 or 4 and over during his last stint in the team. Played a few of the matches in India and the UAE and did that job exceptionally well. Zampa finally gets his length right, but not the line. It's just outside off stump. It's back cut by Dhawan, rolling down towards the rope at third man, and it will beat the dive into the fence. So boundary, single boundary, as Usman Khawaja, probably the least fleet of foot in the Australian team, was the one giving chase, and he put in the dive but couldn't claw it back. So the 50 up for India, 53 without loss, this opening partnership. And gee, that wasn't really very wide, was it? He cut it almost off stump.
No, what Aaron Finch is doing, he's putting a slip in place because he knows that the Australians need a wicket, so he's going on the attack. So there's plenty of space. There's no mid-wicket. So there's kind of a straight mid-on, a 45 on the leg side and 2 fielders on the onside, so massive space at mid-wicket.
Zampa bowling on the leg stump again, full and driven away for a single. So Dhawan gets off strike and gets away from that trap. 54 for none. You'd have to be brave to play the late cut with the slip and the short third man in position.
Yeah, but that's Shikhar Dhawan for you. He will always find the gaps when you give him any kind of width.
Just an extraordinary shot, really. Made a good ball look like a bad one. Zampa trying again to Rohit Sharma, who defends, and finally a respectful stroke is played to an Adam Zampa delivery. He's gone for 10 from 5 balls so far. Just really needs to settle. Australia need him today. Tries to close out the over well. And it's driven back past him for a run. They've got long off back. So 55 without loss. Rohit Sharma 18, Shikhar Dhawan 33. This Indian opening pair doing the business. They're only going at 4.6 and over, but they can both accelerate at the drop of a hat, and hats drop easy in this town.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's now a very strong start for India. You know, it is a used pitch, and think about that first game. England got 311 against South Africa. That was on a fresh wicket. That was enough. Bangladesh got 330 here against South Africa. That was enough. On this pitch just a few days ago, 244 that Bangladesh got was nearly enough to beat New Zealand. So you think if India get anywhere around that 300 mark, which they're well on the way to do so, it's going to be a tough challenge for Australia to chase it down. And
it was all spin in that Bangladesh innings. It was Shakib bowling gorgeously left arm tweakers. Maxwell starts with his off breaks outside the off stump, driven away. That's going to be off the thickish outside edge, I reckon, away through third man, and it will reach the rope for 4. A big dive out there from Zampa trying to haul it in, but after his exertions bowling the previous over, he couldn't catch up to it. 59 without loss. Rohit Sharma on 219.
Yeah, he gets some shape through the air on this delivery. The wind's blowing across as we look from the commentary box from right to left. Just a little bit of shape through the air. He bowls it quite quickly. It's a thick outside edge, and because of the pace that Maxwell's bowling, it's raced all the way to the boundary. He's just moved Adam Zampa, who was at short third man, just a little bit wider than he was the previous ball.
So we've got a deep point looking to save a boundary, a short third man, and he's on the off stump, Maxwell, and fielding off his own bowling, flicking back towards the stumps as he was hoping to find Shikhar out of his ground at the non-striker's end.
I just wonder if he didn't get his bat down here. You're just looking at Glenn Maxwell's reaction. Great thinking, instinctive, just the release of the ball around the back of the body.
Lucky that Khawaja was backing him up too, or there would have been overthrows. Nice flight again from Maxwell. He's really giving it the loop this time, and it's turned away to square leg for a single. Warner Fields.
What are you trying to say about Khawaja's fielding?
Well, just to have the presence of mind. Normally, if you're sort of square of the wicket at mid-off, you're not going to expect the bowler to throw the ball at you.
He would have been out. His bat wasn't down. That is brilliant from Maxwell. A little bit dozy from Shikhar Dhawan.
Maxwell had a very big laugh and a little hug with Shikhar Dhawan, saying, well, nearly got you. Good spirits out there. Good to see the match being played in that way. 60 without loss as Maxwell bowls around the wicket to the left-handed Shikhar Dhawan, who works the ball casually off his pads to Finch, just wide of Finch at mid-on. 56 for none. 61 for none, rather.
Yeah, he'd have been out. I mean, he misses by a metre.
Wasn't really looking at the stumps.
Got it too square. He came too back on himself. He needed to throw it more at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, he was backhanding it around his back. It would have been one of the great trick shot dismissals had he hit the stumps with that. Good turn again to Rohit Sharma, spinning in towards the off stump, and he cuts it off his stumps to Stoinis out in the deep.
Yeah, the best way to describe it would be Adil Rashid ran out Babar Azam in the one-day series prior to the World Cup at Headingley. Josh Butler threw in the ball and he kind of had it at the non-strikers end and he whipped the bails off around the back, exactly like that. Glenn Maxwell missed.
62 for none as Maxwell bowls to Dhawan, works it off his pad straight to short fine leg where Zampa fields and won't go through for a run. So the end of the 13th over, 62 on the board. Rohit Sharma 25, Shikhar Dhawan 34, and building nicely now India after a tough early start. You said before you got on air that early wickets were the key for Australia.
Yeah, they had to find something, or a mistake from this Indian pair. Well, it's not come. The guitarist today looks like a proper rocker. Real long frizzy hair. He's just come straight out of looks like one of Def Leppard.
I'll leave you to appreciate him, and Prakash Vakunkar will be in a sec.
It's the 29th 50 stand that these two have shared for the opening wicket in one-day international cricket, but only the third since last September in around about 20 innings. Or the other two, when they have passed 50, have been 154 and 193.
Zampa in from the far end bowls, and this one's driven up the ground by Rohit Sharma. He'll amble across for a single, and it's a very good morning to Michael Vaughan as well.
Yeah, good morning, Prakash. Your country have arrived in numbers.
Oh yes, I think you said 33, counting the Australian team and their support staff.
Yeah, I counted Jeff as well.
You added Jeff in for good measure. Yes, it is a sea of blue. There's
Peter
no
Lawler here, that's 33.
Yes, but that's
Malcolm
almost,
Connie will be here. There's another one.
That's almost the scene everywhere around the world, as Shikhar Dhawan, now having ditched his helmet, waits for Zampa. Zampa bowls, and Dhawan works it away on the onside down towards deep mid-wicket, where he'll pick up another single. What do you make of this pitch, Michael? You're seeing a little bit of early turn for...
I would suggest that it's quite a nice pitch made for India.
Oh, made for India. There you go.
Being brutally
there
honest.
You go again. Made for India.
Yeah,
but made in England, if anywhere. Here's Zampa now in to bowl to Rohit Sharma. Slip in place. Bowls Rohit Sharma down the wicket and wristily drives it up the ground towards wideish mid-on. Picks up a run.
No, it's a good pitch. I mean, it's dry. There will be a little bit of spin there. We may see him because of the nature of the surface and the square, which is so big here at the Oval. There's plenty of dry spots for the ball potentially to get a little bit of scuffing on. We may see a bit of reverse swing from this position. India, they should be on the way to at least 300.
There's Zampa now into Dhawan. Dhawan down the wicket, drives again up the ground, another single. They've batted with a degree of circumspection, as you'd expect early on, didn't they? And
well, they've just made sure they haven't lost wickets. I think that's becoming a trend. I mean, in England, after the first 5 overs, yes, they suddenly start to accelerate and play the normal way, but I think more and more teams will probably play like we've seen Rohit and Shikhar Dhawan, just set the foundation.
Zampa in, quicker shot, pulled away on the onside. There'll be a couple of runs here, might even beat the fielder. Now he'll come around and cut it off just inside the boundary, and Stoyne is there running around and limits the scoring to a brace. So 2 more to Rohit Sharma, and he goes to 29, India to 68. Michael Vaughan replaced by Phil Tufnell.
Prakash, how are you, mate?
I'm very good,
Nice
sir.
to
How
see
are you?
Very well, very well. Looking forward to this. It's starting to get going a bit now. Good opening spell by Australia, but India just getting in their rhythm and tempo now a bit, aren't they?
Yes, just moving into that sort of groove. Now the slip has been dispensed with. 2 men behind the bat, just at the edge of the circle. They're like a short third man, and back again. So change of heart. Zampa wants Smith back at slip, and as a result Cummins moves squarer at short third man. There's a sweeper cover, short extra, long off, long on. Zampa comes in, passes the umpire, bowls with the sun out, and is driven firmly, but only as far as sweeper cover by Rohit Sharma. He picks up another run. It's 69 without loss, having won the toss, batting first.
Yeah, good decision. No brainer, I think Virat said this morning, didn't he? Yeah, no brainer. Which I'm quite used to, actually. No brainers. But yes, he doesn't spin his leggy much, Zampa, does he? But he bowls a good sort of top spinner and a bit of a sort of a flippery thing, and also a good wrong, and so that's what he'd be looking to do to the left hand, and that's for sure. But I think if he could just work on getting some more revs on that leggy, he'd be a good bowler. But he's still a good bowler, but just a little bit more sort of, a little bit more to think about.
Variety.
Yeah.
So change in bowling here at the Foxhall end. We've Now seeing Maxwell having bowled a couple of overs, it's Coulter-Nile back on into the attack, and he's going to bowl to Rohit Sharma. There's a third man in place, a short backward point just at the edge of the circle, deep point, extra cover mid-off, mid-on, straightish mid-wicket, a man deep on square leg and a long leg. Here's Coulter-Nile, passes the umpire, bowls to Rohit Sharma, who eases it down to third man, picks up a comfortable run. It's 70 without loss, and both the openers now in their 30s.
He never looks too flustered, does he, old Rohit?
Yes,
Just sort of
the interesting thing with Rohit is he's almost... he's been accused at times of almost appearing lazy, isn't it? In the early part of
Chris Waddle. Do you know Chris Waddle? used to play for Sheffield Wednesday.
Did
he? Who else did he? Newcastle.
Is he not huge in India?
Well, no, not huge in India.
Thank you,
Waddle.
you, Andy, for coming to my aid.
But
this was a googly.
But he had a fantastic... I'll explain.
I shall learn. Here's Coulter-Nile into Dhawan, and Dhawan plays it straight to straightish mid-wicket. And looking for some support from the back of the room here from our producer.
No. he used to play for England at football, and he sort of had a fabulous footballer, played for England many times or what have you, but had that sort of he ran lazy, if you know what I mean. He sort of ran a little bit sort of, he was a bit languid.
Like on a Mumbai local train, probably, shaky on the side.
He just sort of like cruised around, and he got accused of that sometimes.
Did he?
Which is a bit unfair sometimes.
Yes, Coulter-Nile in bowl, short bouncer, and Rohit, not in control. He's going to get 4 runs for it, but I'm not sure that Shikhar Dhawan was completely in control. Did control it well in the end, one has to say, by just not going through with the shot, helping it away, but cramped clearly. And it was a good surprise ball from Coulter-Nile. Another day it could have got the top edge and gone off into the fielder's hands, but it didn't. India up to 74 now as a result of that fall.
There's been a couple like that, Prakash, haven't there? That when it's dug in, it's a bit slow pitched up and just short of a length. But when the one is dug in, it does bounce, and that got big quickly on Shikhar Dhawan. And as you said, he played it well because he just sort of stayed there with the bat in a pull shot, and it just sort of hit it and went off. If he'd have followed through with it, it might have gone to hand.
Yeah, might have gone to the man at long leg, but 4 runs there for Dhawan, as here's Coulter-Nile, and this time on the offside, eased away to square third man, easily done, 75 without loss.
Yeah, he did a very good single as well, Chris Waddle, with Glenn Hoddle. Diamond lights, if he'd have followed through with it, it might have gone to hand.
Yeah, might have gone to the man at long leg. Homework, 4 runs there for Dhawan, as here's Coulter-Nile, and this time on
Diamond lights, if he'd have followed through with it, it might have gone to hand.
Yeah, might have gone to the man at long leg. Homework, 4 runs there for Dhawan, as here's Coulter-Nile, and this time on
Diamond lights, if he'd have followed through with it, it might have gone to hand.
Yeah, might have gone to the man at long leg. Homework, 4 runs there for Dhawan, as here's Coulter-Nile, and this time on
Diamond, if he'd have followed through with it, it might have gone to hand.
Yeah, might have gone to the man at long leg. Homework, 4 runs there for Dhawan, as here's Coulter-Nile, and this time on
Diamond, if he'd have followed through with it, it might have gone to hand.
Yeah, might have gone to the man at long leg. Homework, 4 runs there for Dhawan, as here's Coulter-Nile, and this time on
Diamond, if he'd have followed through with it, it might have gone to hand.
Yeah, might have gone to the man at long leg. Homework, 4 runs there for Dhawan, as here's Coulter-Nile, and this time on
Diamond, if he'd have followed through with it, it might have gone to hand.
Yeah, might have gone to the man at long leg. Homework, 4 runs there for Dhawan, as here's Coulter-Nile, 15 gone, it's 75 without loss India. It has been a high-scoring ground, though, and it's also been a chasing ground. Let me get you homework, 4 runs there for
it's difficult to defend, isn't it? As we
15 gone, it's 75 without loss India.
Very difficult.
It has been a high-scoring ground, though, and it's also been a chasing ground. Let me get you homework, 4 runs there for
it's difficult to defend, isn't it? As we
15 gone, it's 75 without loss India. It has been a high-scoring ground, though, and it's also been a chasing ground. Let me get you homework, 4 runs there for
it's difficult to defend, isn't it? As we
15 gone, it's 75 without loss India.
To keep them under 300.
Stoyne is now in the attack, chasing Aaron Finch, quite understandably trying all the options he has available, and he needs to. And that's been the question about Australia's bowling attack, isn't it? Great at the top, and then a little bit dodgy.
You took the words out of my mouth there.
How dare I?
No, you're spot on, as you say. The Cummins and Stark, wonderful, wickets in them and pace. It just comes off it a little bit, doesn't it, with the second string?
Yes, Stoyne is now. And Shikhar Dhawan plays a lovely ram shot straight over the keeper's head. Straight as a dive below us here in the commentary position. 4 more runs completely in control on that occasion, Shikhar Dhawan. It was slow. It came off, as you said, a little bit slow, allowed the batsman enough time, and off the full face of the bat behind his head.
Yeah, not quick enough to do that, I'm afraid, Marcus. All the time in the world just to sort of sway back and just get that lovely little ramp shot. Got a good piece of it as well, straight over Carey's head.
So Zampa at third man is fairly fine, but not fine enough. Here's Stoinis bowls, and this time Dhawan dabs it away on the offside, thinks about a run, and then sensibly changes his mind. 79 without loss, India in the 16th.
Why did they not bring someone like a Hazelwood with them or something? Was that?
I think Hazelwood was injured.
He's been injured.
Oh,
yeah.
has he? He's been. Well, okay. Well, that's why then. Yeah, they just need someone just as that first change
away, isn't it?
that
Yeah.
can, that is, a bit quicker and a bit more sort of. Coulter does a good job, but just someone a little bit more sort of.
Which is where there was this discussion about whether Bernhoff would have come in as the second left-arm seamer, given the Indian batsman's
perhaps
sort of record as Stoinis bowls, and this time Shikhar Dhawan plays it, taking his bottom hand off, almost gliding it single-handedly down towards third man. Zampa fields a single easily taken, 80 without loss.
Zorro, wasn't it? Sort of, real sort of slice.
The sabre.
Yeah.
So 6 bowlers, including Stoinis, already been used by Aaron Finch. Looking for that first breakthrough.
Yeah, he hasn't got a lot of pace. That Berendorf, isn't it?
Berendorf.
Yeah, Berendorf. And he looks ready to swing it, but these white balls, they just don't do anything.
That's
right.
right.
Do they? So he's a very fine bowler, good T20 bowler as well.
Stoinis is up balls from close to the wickets, and Rohit Sharma just pushes it up the ground to mid-on, won't get a run. There's a third man sweeper cover, and 2 men deep on the onside, a deep square and a man at long leg for the right-handed Sharma. 5 in the field, 3 on the off, 2 on the onside. Fairly orthodox field.
Yeah, they'll be getting a little bit concerned now, Australia.
Yes, and I think it was that first change, wasn't it? That first over that went for about 14 odd runs, 3 boundaries for Shikhar Dhawan. Suddenly just changed the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
And Stoinis now suggesting that he might want a change in the field now. It's all fine. Here he is now running into us and bowls, and Rohit Sharma helps it round the corner. He'll pick up a run as Zampa moves round and fields. It's 81 without loss, India. This is a good solid start after being careful and watchful.
No, beautifully done by India. As you say, it was a good start by Australia. As I say, steaming in. Pat Cummins got the edge a couple of times, play. It's a long time, 50 overs, we're used to 20-20 and all this kind of stuff.
Is very much a factor that they'll take into account as Drinks comes onto the field, and that'll give us an opportunity, Phil, to get your thoughts early on this World Cup as a whole, and then of course the top 3 or 4, 5 teams that you see and how they're playing along.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's really starting to kick off now, isn't it? Really
it's warming up.
Really enjoying it. I mean, there was a couple of good games, but I mean, probably this is the first real big one. It's India or Australia. That's what we're after. Yeah, I think these two will be in the semi-final. I like the format, don't you? The round robin.
Absolutely.
Cream usually comes to the top, doesn't it? And you've got a couple of. The nature of the game is that you're going to have a couple of bad games, isn't it?
Yes.
So that sort of enables the teams to sort of survive that, so to speak. But these two will be there. I think England have got a great chance. I really do.
Well, as I've said before, I mean, this is England's World Cup to lose. Really, they've got everything.
Listen, I see what you're doing. Okay, come on.
No, really, I mean,
I'm not as silly as I look,
The world's number 1 team.
Yes.
Quite
justifiably
great amount
so.
of depth.
Yes.
Variety.
Yes, I agree.
Home advantage as well, and batting brilliantly.
Yeah, and looking slightly. I think that game against Bangladesh was a little bit crucial. We looked a little bit agitated against sort of Pakistan, and there was a few little tantrums, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's good to get that out of the way, though.
Yeah, but
one loss.
We just looked a little bit sort of under pressure, you know what I mean? And now sort of, I think it was a good performance against Bangladesh to just sort of, get back into the competition, so to speak. And then and then it's a bit of a choice. New Zealand, very good side, packed full of world-class players. West Indies. If they get on a roll, that they can do some
And of course,
damage.
the ever mercurial Pakistan.
And Pakistan, who just never cease to amaze me. Never cease to amaze me.
Side, Pakistan, and that'll be some game. India Pakistan.
Wow, well, Edgbaston, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah,
Old Trafford.
Old Trafford, that will be an absolute stonker. So
that'll be a fantastic game. So
I think Pakistan and they lost sort of 14 on the trot or something ridiculous, and then come back and put in a performance against England like they did. So you can't rule them out either.
No. So open slots number 4. So at New Road, England's women are batting first against the West Indies in the second ODI. They're 47 without loss in the 11th over. There's commentary of that game on the BBC Sport website and apps all day, plus in-play video highlights. And of course, there's text commentary on that game and this match on the website as well. So you can follow all the cricket that's going on. And talking about that, Phil, there's huge amount of cricket this summer, isn't it? It's almost like, it's cricket and more cricket.
It does not get any better.
And yet, tell me, when I arrived at Heathrow,
yes,
I had to pinch myself to remind myself that there was a World Cup going on.
Really?
Nothing. But nothing.
Well, okay.
Surprising, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I think it takes a bit of time just to catch fire, but I think this will help. This is going to help.
Of course, this is fantastic. But you've got to come here or watch on the telly, and not everybody can watch telly either, right?
No. I mean, it takes a little bit of time to ignite, couple of games, and then everyone starts going, my wife knows it's on.
That helps. Explains your time away. Action back at the ground. Drinks are off, and Kultanile starts a fresh over. Goes in and bowls to Rohit Sharma, who's hooked this one, and he's hit it clean as a whistle back over the long leg boundary for the first 6 of the game. Rohit Sharma, that drink certainly giving him a little bit extra energy, and he plonks it over the long leg boundary for 6. 87 without loss. Terrific shot.
Yeah, fantastic hook shot. I think he might have hit that into the groundsman's shed. It's not a long way down there, and a little bit sort of top edgy, but got enough of it, and it just crept over the boundary and popped straight into the groundsman's hut. But fantastic shot. All the time in the world.
It's Kultanile in ball. This time pitches it up, and Sharma drives to the Australian captain, who's fielding at mid-off. There is no run.
That's the groundsman's shed that Mornay Morkel walked off and straight into.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I was on commentary then. Instead of walking up the steps, he sort of had his head down and dragging his bat along, walked straight into the groundsman's.
Is that right? Poor guy.
Found himself with all the mowers.
It's close, right?
Well, it is, yes.
He didn't want to climb the stairs.
No, easy
looking for a lift. Here's Kultanile into Rohit Sharma, who plays a nice little dab down to third man. And it's 88 now, without loss. And the score predictor that just popped up on our monitor here indicates a score well in excess of 300.
I might have been a bit shy in the initial, but I think they'll be looking for 300. Anything over 300, good score on this pitch, I think.
Yeah, and there have been some really high-scoring runs, high-scoring games, and high-scoring chases as well, of course. Kultanile into the left-handed Dhawan, who dabs it away on the onside and will scamper through for a single. He goes to 47. The total now to 89. Without loss. So India coming off that win on what I thought was a little bit of a tricky wicket, really, at Southampton. And
who did they beat again? I've forgotten. Who did they beat?
South Africa.
Oh, yes. That's right.
So South Africa and Afghanistan are the two teams that have nil from 3.
Ooh.
Here's Kultanile, passes the umpire up, he comes bowls, and Rohit Sharma just defends. He's looking to maybe. It's very unfortunate as well for them, isn't it? The injuries, a single unidimensional sort of plan around pace, no Dale Steyn, injury to Lungidi. Couldn't have helped.
No. But one thing about South Africa you always used to know is that they'd field well, but they just looked a little bit all at sea, didn't they, South Africa?
They have. Kultanile bowls, and Rohit Sharma plays it square of the wicket on the offside, and they take a single to the left of Steve Smith, and the total goes to 90 without loss. This is a great time to welcome all our listeners in Australia on ABC Grandstand, and Radio Sports listeners in New Zealand. Welcome, mate. And we're also on the ICC app around the world. With 90 for no loss, I can say that, can't I?
Absolutely. I thought that was wonderful.
I got to get back on track. Get back on track. So Stoinis to continue from the far end. It's the effort, it's the impact of having worked a little bit with Jeff Lemon. I think he's having that influence on me.
Yes.
Third man, long leg, deep square and sweeper cover. The 4 men on the fence. Stoinis bowls and Rohit Sharma dabs it away quietly on the onside.
It's like a lot of Australians. They get under your skin after a while. They get in there.
Well, there's going to be a fair amount of Australian support, I reckon, during the Ashes. We aren't seeing too many yellow shirts here.
Yeah,
the Ashes should be something really, really cracking.
Well, as you were saying, we have just got an absolute stonker, an absolute belter of cricket this summer.
Yeah,
We've got all the excitement of this, and then we'll have a little breather, and then
a comfortable single down to Zampa, who comes off the boundary and fields, and it goes to 91 now without loss. It's a good solid start here for the Indians.
Yeah,
what a
magnificent
sight this is.
One of my favourites. Listen, we've got some wonderful venues up and down the country.
Oh, they are.
But yeah, one of my favourites. I think mainly because I've sort of got a few out here. It always close to the heart.
Yeah, but also, I think when the weather's the way it is today, bit of sunshine, just patchy cloud, just perfect cricket. And this one has been eased away square of the wicket, backward of point. There'll be a couple here as Dhawan comes back for the second to 93 now, and Dhawan up to 49.
Yeah,
Shikhar Dhawan, nice big smile on his face. 94 without loss, India. And Shikhar Dhawan, of course, one of those players who's come through this whole wonderful journey. He broke into the Indian Test team quite late in his career, and now has got 50 of 53 balls with 7 fours. Andy?
It's Dhawan's 44th score of 50 or more in one-day international cricket. His 8th against Australia. He has 1600s amongst those 44 50-plus scores. Great record in England. This is his 19th innings, the 8th time he's reached 50. He's averaging 65 in ODIs in England.
They're thinking about a second and decide against it, quite sensibly so. And score goes to 95 without loss. The last ball of the over coming up from Stoinis. Good solid start here. The Indian team will be pleased. They were at a reception at the Indian High Commissioner's residence the day before.
Oh, did you go?
And yes, I was fortunate to be there. And they were all very relaxed. Had a nice, comfortable, what they said, homely kind of meal.
Oh, okay.
And looked in good shape, all of them.
Very good.
And Shikhar in particular.
Yeah.
Having not got runs at Southampton, would have wanted to get this 50, and this will do his confidence some good. Stoinis is in. Ball. Shikhar comes down the wicket, square of the wicket. He drives, picks up a run, goes to 96. Does the total for India. Shikhar Dhawan up to 51. More thoughts from Tuffers, and then Isa Gupta.
Yeah, he's played nicely. A couple of rising deliveries early on in his knock, got hit on the thumb, and a few whistle passes. He's just starting now to really flow nicely, and it feels like he's been under no pressure to get that 50, really. After that initial sort of barrage from the two quick boys, he's just knocked it around nicely and put his team in a really good position. Ish.
Hello, Phil. You've removed your purple sunnies, put them on your navy blue shirt.
Well, just a little bit of cloud. Got very sensitive eyes, very light sensitive,
okay.
You see.
I see. Plenty of cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
Fluffy clouds as Mitch Stark will come back into the attack. Just going through a few bowl throughs, just without bowling it, just to loosen up those shoulders, loosen up that back. Aaron Finch just having a couple of words to him before placing himself back at mid-on. So Shikhar Dhawan.
I know.
The left arm quick. bowls. Dhawan dabs to the offside, comes through for a quick single as point. Glenn Maxwell runs around to his left to fetch it, and the score moves to 97 for no loss inside the 19th.
I know a couple of England coaches who used to say that. Can somebody just do something? That's why we're here. Do something.
And captains?
Well, yeah, and a few of them as well. But it's getting to that point for Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. And they need to break this partnership. It's been the most successful since the last World Cup in terms of number of runs scored. Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan. Stark running away from us now, arms pumping. He bowls. Sharma fends to the offside, no run. At New Road, England's women have lost their first wicket. Amy Jones out for 18, 59 for 1 in the 14th over. She scored 90 in her first innings. Tammy Beaumont is 40 not out. There's commentary of that game on the BBC Sport website and app all day, plus in-play video highlights. Second one-day international of 3. Of course, there are ICC Women's Championship points up for grabs, which is qualification for the next World Cup to be held in New Zealand in 2021, as the dark-haired Mitch Starc bowls. Sharma tucks off his legs out to deep square for a single. The score moves to 98 for no loss. Rohit to 43.
And the trouble with when you've got two such high-quality bowlers like Starc
3
and
now,
Cummings,
and that one up
you
to
can, as a batsman, just look to knock them around, because you get the feeling that you can climb into the other boys a little bit, can't you?
49.
So you don't particularly have to go after them. If they bowl you a bad ball, okay, you're going to smack it away, but you don't have to do anything too silly and still just keep that ticking over, because you know you can catch up against the second string.
The left-handed Punjabi opener Shikhar Dhawan forward in defence to the offside, no run.
Well, you've got your little black book out.
I have a little black book. It's got all my notes in here, Tuppers. I'm already halfway through it. The World Cup on.
Very nice writing.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I can't
good.
read it myself.
Oh,
but
really? Yeah, that's good. Like a GP.
That's what GPs do, isn't it? They just take notes. Starc turns at the top of his mark. Atmosphere building here at the Oval as the Mexican wave goes around the ground to our right. Dhawan, a little dip before he sets up again, working it to the leg side, this time off his hips. He sprints the first one, but won't be able to come back for the second as a throw comes in for Coulter-Nile on the deep square leg boundary. 99 for no loss inside the 19th over. Dhawan to 53.
I mean, it's a bit tricky. What do you do in this situation? The boys look well in India. You get your main strike bowl about. I mean, all you can do really is just look to defend a bit here. No point necessarily in putting in a slip, is there? I mean, you've just got to hang in and hopefully something will happen.
There's no slip in play to Rohit Sharma, who whips that out to fine leg. Comes through for another one. Moves to 44 and 100 up for India after 19 overs. Another 100 partnership between these two. Their 9th 100. About the partnership that these two do have.
That puts them joint second on most century opening stands in one-day international cricket, alongside Adam Gilchrist and Matthew Hayden, the great Australian opening pair who had 16 100 partnerships, leading the way Sourav Ganguly and Sachin Tendulkar with 21. Ominously for Australia, of the previous 15 occasions Dhawan and Rohit have added 100, India have won 13 of those games.
Thanks for that, Andy. Both Sourav and Sachin are here today.
I saw him, yeah. I see him, said hello.
Sourav with his floppy hair. We talked about it yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Michael Vaughan, yeah.
Okay.
I suppose Vaughan can talk about those things because, well, it is natural now, isn't it? He speaks about it quite a bit, his hair. As Stoinis is into the attack, he bowls. Rohit Sharma defends back to mid-wicket, no run.
Saw the little maestro walking off as well. Crowd went mad, waving. Still a ledge, isn't he? Wherever he goes.
He just
Mr.
raises his hand.
Tendulkar.
It's a little bit like a queen.
Yes, it is a bit. Yes, you're right.
Queen wave.
Yes, it's not
it?
like a frantic sort of wave, is it? It's just like a
Acknowledgement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolute legend of the game, of course. He had another great partnership with Virender Sehwag, who is also here today.
crikey.
As Sharma guides, but to a backward point. Comes through for 1.
Don't mind those 2 guys behind point there, especially to Darwan as well. I don't know why they haven't had it to Darwan, because he likes to sort of carve it through there, doesn't he, a little bit. So, and especially someone of perhaps Stoinis's pace, anything up, you're kind of off, and so. Yeah, they have it to Sharma there, which is a good point, but I don't know why they haven't necessarily. Oh, here, something might be happening here to Zampa at third man. Is he going to come up?
Well, he's just checking now,
okay.
raises his hand. No, he's been sent back to the third man boundary. So Stoinis will continue from the pavilion end. He bowls, Dhawan pulls, and he'll find the ropes here. He gets it fine enough to beat Mitchell Starc, running around to his left, and another boundary for Shikhar Dhawan, moves to 57, 105 for no loss.
Yeah, I don't like this ploy of Stoinis trying to bounce Shikhar Dhawan. I know he got himself into a bit of trouble against the 2 big fast boys up top, but I don't think he's quick enough. Down the leg side, just called up with it and managed to get it